It's Morbid time! Vampire bat!
But you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to my Morbius review. Spoiler review. This movie, I wanted to do like a non-spoiler, then a spoiler section, but I wasn't going to be able to really talk about the characters and people I really wanted to talk to more in depth without going more into the spoilers. So this is just a straight up spoiler review. If you're not seeing the movie or if you plan on seeing the movie, don't watch it. Don't watch it. So yeah, my first thoughts on the movie was that, so here's the thing, I saw this movie twice, and my second time watching it was worse than my first time. Somehow, my second time watching this film was worse than my first time. I don't know how that's possible, but it was. Let's get it out of the way, because I feel like, let's just get the elephant out of the room. Let's straight up get it out of the room and just say it already. This movie should have been rated R. I have been saying that for a while. I've said it before when this movie was announced to be in production, for crying out loud. I was completely like, this should have been rated R. It should have been like Blade in that regard, where it was rated R, had blood, all that stuff. This is a vampire movie. This is not like one of those things where it's like, oh, like, I know you're biting my neck, sir, but can you try to get it away from the camera so that, you know, we can still be PG-13? No, it's a vampire. It's gonna rip your fucking throat out and dine on your blood and flesh. This is a vampire. Again, like, I am so angry that they have decided to go with the PG-13 rating. And I believe that they suffered for it. I think they truly suffered for making the movie PG-13. On top of a bunch of other things, which we will get to in a little bit. I wrote out my outline, like I always do. I actually didn't really write much, like a page and a half. So this is not going to be a long review. This isn't going to be, you know, not too long, not too short. I think this would be like a just right timing, so yeah. Let's talk about the plot and the story. So I wrote this down because I think that I write the plots better than, honestly, on the IMDb stuff, so whatever. While experimenting with vampire DNA, Michael Morbius accidentally turns himself into a vampire and tries to find a way to cure himself or control his newly gained thirst for human blood. He's got a big thirst for human blood now. So yeah, that's basically the movie in a nutshell. But spoilers, there's a villain in the movie, and it's his best friend Milo. And let me tell you, it's again, it was not compelling. Well, let's just get into it with the characters. Michael Morbius. So, I liked Jared Leto as Morbius. I think Jared Leto playing Morbius was probably the only thing I really liked about this movie. I think that he was a really good casting choice. I just wish that he got a better script with a better director, and I think that he would have been way more than what he was in this movie. And then, of course, you got the friend, the Milo, or the Lucian, as his real name is. Milo is like kind of like a name that Morbius just gave to him for funsies as kids. Because apparently when they had a lot of people, like other kids come in, they called them Milo. So it was like a joke or some type of weird running joke. I don't know, what the fuck does Milo mean in Britain terms? I don't know. English terms or whatever. Which it's funny enough how they lose that accent more or less when they grow up. Isn't that funny? Well, at least Morbius did. Jared Leto, he's like, nah, I'm not gonna do a British accent, but whatever. So yeah, you got Milo in here, who's the main villain of the movie. He's not very interesting, pretty one-dimensional. He gets the vampire powers, and he's just like, yeah, I'm a bad guy now, and I'm gonna go kill everybody, because I'm a bad guy. That's his motivation. Before it was, I just want to learn how to walk again. You know, I just want to walk again normally or be a normal person. It went from I want to be a normal person to now I'm better than everybody else. So I'm gonna bite everybody's throat out. Again, it's just this movie did not know how to make a villain. It did not know how to make someone or a sympathetic villain. This movie doesn't know how to make a sympathetic villain. It did not know how to take somebody who just wanted to be a normal person, and then all of a sudden they have not only can walk normally, but they can fly around and have super strength and shit like that. Again, this movie did a terrible job trying to have you, like, understand, like, mentally how they go from wanting to be a normal person to now they just want to kill everybody because they can. Again, it's very stupid, very foolish. And now let's move on to the woman, or the love interest slash doctor assistant for Morbius. Martine Bancroft, I think her name was in this movie. So yeah, she becomes a vampire, I guess, at the end of this movie, because this movie just cannot, because the movie again falls into this trap, just like a lot of MCU movies these days. Oh, we gotta set up the next movie. We gotta set up that next movie. It's like, how about you focus on making a good movie first? Then maybe we can talk about the second movie, which this movie should not get a second movie now because of how terrible that you decided to write this and direct this. So again, it just, who cares? You're like the meme, for example, is gonna be remembered way more than this movie. That's for damn sure, because that's just how life works these days. But yeah, I didn't care about her. I didn't care about her either. As a matter of fact, I cared about nobody in this movie except for Morbius. The only times that I was actually invested and I cared about what was going on the screen was when Morbius was sitting there trying to figure out how to control his vampire stuff or his powers, or try to, like, you know, kind of self-diagnose himself, or kind of figure out how he can use his abilities and stuff like that. That was the only moments when I was, like, actually hooked. Everything else, every other time, was just, every other character, I was like, I don't care. Every other character, I did not care. So, they did a really bad job with the other characters, too. But I will say that some of the special effects were kind of cool. I liked, they had, like, this after trail effect when Morbius would kind of fly around. I liked it, but there were times when it got a little too smoky. Like he'd just be kind of standing there, and like you see like this kind of smoke effect, and it would just be too much. There's just way too much smoke effect. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was definitely another thing I kind of liked and didn't like. It was cool, but it was too much sometimes. That effect. Like I said, the movie felt boring at times. I was only ever interested in Morbius and what was going on with him. Every time they tried to bring another character into the mix, I was immediately kind of put off. I did not care about the main villain, which I honestly don't even know if there should have been a villain in this movie at all. You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, maybe you should have kind of did more of like a, I don't know, like I think this movie should have been more of like a psychological movie where he's trying to learn how to control himself, not so much as he has to fight a bad guy because bad guy want to do bad things. Like, these movie directors, and they don't have any creativity. They don't actually want to sit here and think, okay, let's try something different, let's try something more unique, let's try something new, let's try something maybe that other people aren't doing. Instead, it's this, let's play it safe, let's keep doing this bullshit of trying to set up new movies because we want to make more money, because that's all this comes down to at the end of the day for them. And again, it's just very sad because we went from having really good movies, or universe, hint hint, the MCU, to now it's just laughable, it's boring, it's generic, it's not interesting anymore. It's frankly starting to put me off and put other people off. So again, this formula is not working anymore. This was rushed and formulaic. It had some good spots at times, but still, it just, for me, just fell apart as I watched it that second time. That's for damn sure. So yeah, I was right, though. This movie should not have been made. If they were gonna make this movie, it should have been rated R. They should have been more creative with this, and if they were gonna have a villain, it should have been someone a bit more interesting and they should have explained how you go from a normal person to a villain real quick. So yeah, and now they're trying to make a Kraven movie, and it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, not hearing good things about that either. So again, just it's one of those things where it's like, shouldn't have done it. You should not have done it. If you were going to do it, you should have did it right. Same thing with this Kraven movie. And it does suck, because this movie had potential. It did. When the promotional material was coming out, and I was seeing Jared Leto come out, and he was talking about how, talking about Morbius, talking about him from the books, and I was actually kind of excited the few weeks before the movie came out. But then I saw the movie, and I was just like, that was okay. And then again, the second time around, it was way worse than the first. So yeah. They should have got a better director or better writer, or both. That's just what it comes down to. They just did not know what they were doing. They played it safe. They played it very formulaic to Marvel. And they should not have done that. I don't know what's going on at Sony, but Sony, listen, you need to stop, okay? Nobody wants a Kraven movie. I already know what you're doing. You're trying to do like a Sinister Six, because at the end of this movie, we get a scene with Michael Keaton because of the effects of Spider-Man No Way Home. And Michael Keaton gets brought into this universe, and then he, at the end, talks to Morbius about putting together a team. And I'm just like, fucking A, man. I know what you're doing. You're trying to set up a Sinister Six, and that's what you're probably gonna do with this Kraven movie. You're gonna be like, ooh. Then you're gonna Vulture or Michael Keaton go talk to Kraven at the end of that movie. I'm already calling it. I'm already using my psychic powers to tell the future right now, and I can tell that's what your stupid ass Sony's trying to do. I recommend that you just stop right there, because it's not going nowhere. You want movies like this with Morbius, like a character like Morbius or Kraven, they need to be in a Spider-Man movie as a villain first, not as a solo act. Venom worked because Venom has been portrayed later on in the books as more of like an anti-hero, okay? And don't get me wrong, it said that about Morbius too. But the way it was done did not work like it did with Venom. So again, that same style, that same thing you're trying with, like you tried with Morbius, didn't work. It's probably not going to work with Kraven from what I'm hearing and what I'm reading. And again, it's not a good idea. I recommend you stop, focus on Spider-Man. If you want, put them in a Spider-Man movie. That's the way to do this. It's not a good idea to sit there and be like, ooh, we're going to just make a bunch of villain movies, and then in the last movie, we're going to call it like Sinister Six or some stupid shit like that. Then we're going to have Spider-Man show up, and he's going to fight them all and put them all in prison. That's dumb. It should have just been Spider-Man movies then. Again, you're wasting characters, especially their first time around. Again, I liked Jared Leto as Joker. I liked Jared Leto as Joker in, Justice League. He redeemed himself in that movie. I was talking about him as Morbius. I like him as Morbius. I think he has potential, but that potential was ruined by the director and the writer and whoever else is in charge. Rad. But whatever, like I said, there you go. There's my review of Morbius. Kind of sloppy. I was kind of all over the place. but I have a big project to work on after this review. Because after this review, we're reviewing the Batman movie, and that's going to be probably a lot longer and more complex than this review. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. My rating for Morbius is a 4 out of 10. I wanted to give it a 5. I wanted, because like I said, the first time I watched the movie, I was like, yeah, that was alright. That was like an average movie. But the second time around, I was just like, yeah, no. I can see all the issues. I feel like I need to watch movies twice, because I feel like when I watch movies a second time, I get a better understanding of where I would rate a movie. Because then you get to see all like the little tiny things stick out more and all the flaws. So I think I'm definitely one of those people who gotta watch movies twice. But with that being said, guys, 4 out of 10. That's my review of Morbius. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, guys, I'm out of here. Up, and away. See you guys.